My partner shared a post claiming I assaulted her. Here's the evidence. With artificial injuries and a widespread clip, it hit 2.8 million watches in 6 hours. I stayed calm. I shared my house surveillance recording displaying her putting on the cosmetics while rehearsing sobs. After she got fired, lost her endorsements and was taken into custody for submitting a bogus complaint during a broadcast. Initial entry. I'm a 31-year-old guy currently in a motel because I literally can't return to my place. Not that I refuse to. Can't. My partner Madison, 27, has ensured that with a single TikTok clip that's now wrecking my existence, or attempting to. It began the day before. I awoke to 89 unanswered calls from buddies, relatives, colleagues. My device was buzzing nonstop. My sibling's message simply read, "Contact me immediately." I looked at online platforms. There it was. Madison's expression, water flowing down, huge dark circle under her eye, marks on her limbs. The title, "I can't keep quiet any longer." He attacked me. I possess proof. No female should endure this. 2.8 million views in 6 hours. The reactions were precisely as anticipated. Threats of harm toward me. Individuals locating my LinkedIn, my firm's site. Somebody had shared my mother's Facebook account in the responses stating, "This is his mom. Inform her about the monster she brought up." But the reality is I haven't been at the residence for 4 days. I've been attending a professional event 3 states distant. I hold proofs for all. Air tickets, lodging, event sign-up, images with workmates each day, with dates and times. Location marked. All of it. Yet the true surprise. Prior to departing for this event, Madison and I had a huge argument. Regarding finances, she's a social media personality with around 45K fans, earns perhaps 2K monthly on a strong period. I'm a programmer, earn good income. She desired me to finance her shift to being a dedicated online creator. Wanted me to handle all expenses for 12 months as she developed her image. I declined. Informed her she must retain her half-time position at the advertising company. She exploded. Claimed I was smothering her aspirations and lacked faith in her. The evening before my departure, she uttered words that now appear highly pertinent. "You'll be sorry for not backing me. I'll succeed regardless of you." Seems she discovered a method to become famous anyway. I promptly contacted my attorney. Yes, I possess one. My relative, Tony. But anyway, he advised me to record all details and remain where I am. Avoid returning. Avoid reaching out to her. Avoid sharing anything. But I did perform one action. I accessed my residence monitoring application. We possess recorders in the main room and cooking area. She was aware of them. Even assisted in selecting them, began reviewing recordings from the previous morning. And there it appeared. 5:23 a.m. Madison positioned at the cooking surface with her illumination device and cosmetic kit, adding violet and dark shadow near her eye. Employing a type of applicator to form patterns on her limbs. Rehearsing weeping into her device lens, several attempts. At a certain moment she verbally stated no, require additional moisture. This must appear authentic. 43 minutes of setup. Then she uploaded the clip. I saved all of it. Transmitted it to Tony. He genuinely chuckled. This is the most foolish act I've witnessed anyone perform on recording. Now I'm here, observing my world crumble on digital networks while possessing proof that could ruin her. But Tony advises, hold off, allow her to bury herself further. The event concludes tomorrow. I'm scheduled to travel back. But back to what? Folks are already uploading images of my residence structure saying he resides here. My boss contacted requesting an explanation of the matter. Madison messaged me 60 minutes ago. If you express regret openly and provide me $50K for my suffering, I'll think about not pursuing legal action. Legal action for an attack that never occurred, while I wasn't even in the region. This is madness. Revision 1, 2 days afterward. The past couple of days have been totally chaotic. Madison didn't merely reinforce her stance, she went all out destructive. Initially, she broadcasted live on Instagram. Weeping, trembling, everything. He's attempting to hush me using his legal team. This is typical of aggressors. They scare you into quietness, gained another 1 million watches. Traditional news outlets covered it. There's actually an article titled, "Programmer Charged with Home Violence in Popular TikTok." My firm placed me on temporary suspension awaiting review. My mother had to remove her Facebook following exposure. My property owner phoned indicating other residents worried about security with me around. But Madison committed a vital error. She submitted a genuine law enforcement document. Tony was thrilled. She just performed a national offense in writing. Wonderful. We visited the law station as a pair. I carried event sign-up and participation logs, travel proofs and entry documents, accommodation proofs indicating ongoing presence, images with date marks from event activities. The complete illumination recorder material. The investigator viewed the cosmetic application recording thrice. His expression was invaluable. The lady put on injury cosmetics while describing her actions. Yes, officer, 3 minutes of it. He truly shook his head. In 2 decades, I've never observed anyone record themselves doing a wrongdoing this completely. They attempted contacting Madison for additional inquiries. She shared about it right away. The authorities wish to question me. This occurs when you voice out. They handle sufferers like offenders. Her audience grew to 400K. Companies were contacting for partnership agreements. She launched a Patreon for those who endured, gaining 3,000 members in 24 hours at $10 each. She earned 30K per month from deception. Then Tony came up with a smart plan. Let's provide her additional leeway. He initiated a non-criminal lawsuit for slander but intentionally made it appear feeble, simply requesting a regret and deletion of the clip. Madison's reply was expected. She employed some opportunistic legal rep who submitted a counterclaim for 500 Qley for mistreatment, distress, and effort to mute a sufferer. She uploaded the counterclaim documents digitally. He's taking legal action against me for expressing my reality. I'm resisting. What she ignored was that Tony had previously delivered the illumination recording to the investigator, and the investigator had forwarded it to the prosecutor. And the prosecutor had already chosen to file accusations for submitting a false law report, deception, and online harassment. They were constructing a prosecution while she was expanding her audience. The day before, she participated in a podcast discussion. A major one, 2 million followers. She narrated detailed tales about prolonged mistreatment, how I separated her from companions, how I managed her money, ironic given she desired me to support her way of life, how this was her initial resistance. The presenter inquired, where was he during this? Madison paused briefly. He arrived home intoxicated at 3 a.m. Caught, observe. The illumination recorder displayed her exiting the residence at 6 a.m. that day. Solo, without harm, dressed in identical attire from the mistreatment clip, but lacking marks yet. She overlooked we had a recorder near the entrance also. Revision 2. The downfall starts. Madison's fabrications began disintegrating quicker than she could invent fresh ones. Initially, a person on Reddit discovered ancient entries of hers from 2 years prior, boasting about completing a special effects cosmetics program for a holiday, including images of her producing lifelike marks on pals. The Reddit sleuth group had captures before she could erase them. Then my associates from the event began sharing. Without my request, 12 various individuals uploaded photos and clips with me from the event, each day with time marks. One fellow even possessed a self-portrait with me at the lodging lounge at 2:47 a.m., the evening of the assault, 1,000 miles distant from Madison. But Madison didn't recognize when to halt. She intensified. She initiated a film project with some videomaker online, asserted she possessed medical documents and observer accounts. She conducted discussions with 3 separate podcasts in a single day, launched several donation drives across various sites. Her mother, Diane, became involved, uploaded this lengthy Facebook tirade about how she always sensed something wrong with me, and how her child finally possessed the bravery to declare it. Stated she was discussing with female support organizations to obtain fairness. That's when I unveiled the initial recording. Not the cosmetics one, merely the entrance recorder material of her departing that morning, without injury, humming to tunes, performing a small jig while awaiting her ride. Uploaded it with only the title. Morning of the event, observe the time mark. It achieved 500K watches in 3 hours. The response area was harsh. Individuals began challenging her, but her backers claimed it was altered or misplaced context or that I likely intimidated her into behaving ordinarily. Madison's reply was quick. She asserted I had tampered with the material, that it was artificial intelligence, that I was digitally tormenting her. She submitted a protection order application. The session was the previous day. Madison appeared with her cosmetics marks redone, pretend weeping, the entire performance. Her low-cost legal rep contended I was bothering a sufferer via electronic alteration. Then Tony rose. Your Honor, I'd like to present Exhibit A through indeed the entire set. We possessed all. The authentic illumination material, the data confirming it wasn't modified, the event logs, the travel lists, the investigator's summary indicating her wounds were mismatched with any physical harm, but the magistrate desired to be detailed. Inquired Madison straight. Madam, when precisely did this supposed attack happen? She stated 3 a.m. The magistrate asked how she knew the precise moment. She said she checked the timer. Which timer? The one on the oven. Tony displayed the cooking area recorder from 3 a.m. Cooking area was dim, vacant. The oven timer actually displayed 3:07 a.m. since we'd never adjusted it post-time change. Madison began faltering. Her legal rep requested a break. The magistrate refused it. Then Tony released the major revelation. Your Honor, we'd like to display the complete morning material. Minutes of Madison putting on false marks while describing her method. The magistrate's expression shifted from official impartial to scarcely restrained fury. Miss Fitzgerald, do you realize that lying under oath is a serious crime? Madison began genuine weeping then. Not the trained drops. The unattractive sobbing of someone observing their plot fall apart. Revision 3. The flood. The protection order session was merely the start. In hours, someone had distributed the courtroom sound. Unsure who, but thank them. Madison's hesitating, the magistrate's inquiries, her legal rep's frantic protest, all of it. Madison attempted to manage the harm, uploaded a clip stating the judicial system disappoints those who survived, and that she was being harmed again by the male-dominated structure. But it was overdue. The online community had shifted. Then the prosecutor's department acted. They detained her at her residence. While she was broadcasting on Instagram, she'd been complaining about dishonest structures when the officers arrived. She continued recording, believing it would aid her story. They're here to mute me. This is what transpires when you express facts to authority. Officer's reply was ideal. Madam, you're detained for submitting a false law report, deception, and false testimony. This is coercion. Madam, you have the privilege to stay quiet. The broadcast remained active for 20 minutes before someone at Instagram terminated it. But display captures were widespread in moments. The accusations were grave. Submitting a false law report, minor offense. False testimony, major crime. Deception exceeding 30K, major crime. Digital bullying, minor offense. Release amount was fixed at 50K. Her mother, Diane, covered it, offering her property as security. That's when Madison's backers began discovering discrepancies in her additional narratives. It emerged she'd asserted to be a survivor previously. 2 years prior, she charged a cafe supervisor with attack when he dismissed her for taking gratuities. That matter was abandoned when monitoring material displayed her removing funds from the container. 3 years prior, she charged an instructor with bothering her. Probe discovered she'd never even enrolled in his course. The trend was evident. Madison had a record of untrue charges when situations didn't favor her. The companies that had contacted for partnerships vanished. The Patreon members seeking returns. The film creator uploaded a declaration separating himself from the endeavor. But Madison wasn't finished. She went extreme. She organized a media gathering, truly got a regional news channel to attend. Positioned there with her mother and her legal rep, asserting this was all a plot, that I'd compensated the authorities, the magistrate, all. That the material was artificially fabricated using my technical links. Then a journalist posed the decisive inquiry. Ms. Fitzgerald, if the material is fabricated, can you clarify why your own Instagram displays you uploading the original clip at 6:15 a.m., following the time mark of you putting on the cosmetics? Complete quiet. Her legal rep attempted to intervene, but Madison had already begun speaking. I had to redo it for the clip because the illumination. She'd just confessed to putting on the cosmetics. On broadcast television, her legal rep literally covered his face. Revision 4. The settlement. Following the media gathering catastrophe, Madison's legal rep abandoned her, simply outright resigned, submitted the documents that same day. Madison had to obtain a state-provided defender for the legal proceeding, but she still attempted to rescue her reputation. Began sharing about how the structure forsakes females and how she was being sacrificed for voicing out. Then Tony acted in the non-criminal proceeding. Observe, while all were concentrated on the legal accusations, we'd been constructing a slander proceeding, not only for the psychological harm, but for measurable deficits. Forfeited earnings from unpaid absence, $8,500. Counseling expenses, $2,400. Lodging expenses while I couldn't return, $2,800. Legal costs, $15,000. Protection set up for my mother's residence after exposure, $3,200. But the actual figure was the harm to my career standing. 3 employment proposals I'd been evaluating were pulled back. The advisory agreement valued at $75,000 was terminated, all recorded. Overall losses, $105,900. But here's where it becomes intriguing. Recall Madison's diverse donation drives. She'd collected nearly $85,000 in total. That funds were intended for endurance and legal expenses. Want to learn what she used it for? New luxury car rental, $3,500 initial. High-end garments, $12,000. Tropical trip bundle, $8,000. Yes, she reserved a getaway amid all this. Beauty treatments, $15,000. All monitored via her online shares and payment records obtained during evidence gathering. The non-criminal magistrate was not pleased. Miss Fitzgerald, you gathered funds under deceptive claims and utilized it for extravagant buys. Her fresh legal rep attempted contending the funds were donations from backers. The magistrate's reply? Donations acquired via deception are not donations, advisor. Decision in our benefit. $105,900 in real losses plus $250,000 in penalty damages. Additionally, she had to reimburse all the collected funds to contributors. Madison uploaded one final clip weeping about the unfairness. It got overwhelmed with criticism. Responses were merely folks uploading captures of her cosmetics application recording. Revision 5. Legal proceeding. The legal trial was nearly uneventful. The prosecutor possessed all. The illumination material, her admission on broadcast TV, the trend of untrue charges, the donation deception. Madison accepted a bargain arrangement. Months in confinement, 3 years supervision, and she had to enroll as a troublesome filer, meaning she requires judicial approval to initiate any upcoming legal actions. But the finest portion was the statement of guilt. For those unfamiliar, that's when the accused must confess what they performed in specifics. Madison had to rise in court and declare, "On that date, I deliberately put on cosmetics to mimic wounds. I then uploaded a clip falsely asserting my partner had attacked me. I knew this was untrue as he was in another region at the time. I submitted a false law report and performed false testimony during the protection order session." Someone was illustrating the courtroom. Her expression as she confessed it all turned into a viral image in hours. Her mother, Diane, attempted one final maneuver. Appeared on a podcast asserting I'd controlled the legal structure and that Madison was forced into a fabricated admission. The podcast presenter verified facts live. It was severe. Displayed the material, the sequence, all. Diane ended up departing midway through the discussion. Madison entered confinement last month. Her Instagram was prohibited. TikTok prohibited. Twitter prohibited. She's basically erased from online networks. Last revision, it's been 3 months since Madison entered confinement. I'm composing this from my fresh residence. Had to relocate because the previous structure was too linked to the turmoil. The non-criminal decision remains, but I'll never receive most of that funds. Madison's penniless, owes repayments to contributors, and has enormous legal obligations. I obtained the luxury car they confiscated, sold it, retrieved about $20,000 superior to zero. My position reinstated me with retroactive compensation and a regret. The firm truly established new guidelines about managing online charges against staff. Essentially, they examined before acting now. Minor victory, I suppose. The 3 employment proposals that were pulled back, one firm contacted again, provided me the role plus a 20% increase for the trouble. I accepted it. New beginning. My mother's fine. She restarted Facebook but maintains it restricted now. Still receives the sporadic unpleasant note from Madison's leftover backers. Yes, she still possesses some. Folks who believe this is all a scheme. Can't correct ignorance. Madison's father contacted me last week. Haven't communicated with him in the 2 years Madison and I were together. They're distant. He expressed regret for his child and said he'd cautioned her mother years prior about Madison's dishonesty. Said she'd been doing this since secondary school, inventing tales, acting as victim, ruining individuals who opposed her. He provided evidence at the trial about her behavior pattern, which assisted prove this wasn't an isolated incident. Tony mounted the courtroom illustration of Madison's admission, displays it in his workspace, says it's his preferred artwork, employs the matter as an instructional case for other legal reps about the significance of electronic proof. The craziest consequence: I was approached by a film team. Authentic one, not online. They're producing a collection on untrue charges in the digital era. Questioned me for 3 hours. They possess all the material, the judicial papers, discussions with the investigator, releases next year. Also been approached by 3 other men who were with Madison previously. All possess comparable tales. One fellow from university displayed me messages where she warned to destroy his existence if he ended it. He remained an additional 6 months from fear. Another fellow had to switch institutions after she circulated gossip about him. We possess a group discussion now. It's healing, odd as that appears. Madison's scheduled for discharge in 11 months with proper conduct. She'll have to perform 100 hours of volunteer work specifically linked to assisting real home violence sufferers. The sarcasm isn't missed by anyone. Her mother Diane still shares about her unjustly confined child, still asserts I'm some unlawful genius who arranged all this. Woman, I'm a programmer who can scarcely arrange coordinating footwear. I just possessed recorders and proofs. Here's what I discovered. 1. Always possess protection recorders, always. 2. Record all. Every journey, every proof, every exchange. 3. When someone warns to wreck your existence, trust them and ready yourself. 4. Don't participate on online networks. Allow legal reps manage it. 5. The facts ultimately emerge, but it might expense you all initially. To anyone dealing with untrue charges, obtain a legal rep right away. Don't attempt to negotiate with someone prepared to deceive to ruin you. They've already demonstrated their character. And to Madison, if you're viewing this from confinement, you engaged in a foolish contest and earned foolish rewards. You could have simply acknowledged no to supporting your online ambitions. Instead, you wrecked your own existence attempting to wreck mine. Interesting tale for your fellow residents, though, I suppose.